The views and opinions of the guest do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of BODS Mayhem Radio Network, its staff, affiliates, or sponsors. Parental discretion is advised. Welcome to BODS Mayhem Radio Network.
Yo, 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 this is Shi from Savage After Midnight, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour, baby.
Welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour, your source for all hard rock, heavy metal, new metal, alternative, punk, horror punk, hardcore, rock, and all local bands, with your host, John the Bod, a.k.a. the Bodfather.
Hey everybody, welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour. I'm your host, John the Bod, a.k.a. the Bodfather, and as always, I'm bringing you guys and gals awesome interviews. Today, it's an honor and a privilege to have Mr. Shi Eubank. He's the vocalist of Savage After Midnight. Savage After Midnight hail from Memphis, Tennessee, and they have released their debut single and video, 10 Feet Tall, off their debut EP, 1159, which will be released March 8th. So you want to get out, pick this up. It's out on via Red Music, and we're going to be talking to Shi about all kinds of stuff, man. This band's kind of took off a little bit here. So, Shi, how's it going, man?
Man, good. We're just out here doing our thing, man. Like, it is crazy how fast stuff's moving. They say, like, a buddy of mine fights UFC, and or used to. Now he's over at Bellator, but he's always told me, he's like, Shi, he's like, talented as shit. He goes, watch it. When it pops off, he's like, you got to stay on top of that ball because it's a nonstop push. And he's right. The shit's crazy, man. Like, the support and the reaction and everything else is just nuts, man. It's nuts.
I'm not talented, and my show's not went nowhere.
You're crazy. You got this. No, definitely appreciate the shout out, man. It means a lot.
He's true, and I've seen that a lot. It's like when a band catches fire, that's it. I mean, it's either sink or swim after that. And I'm not saying it in a bad way. Yeah. It's just that's how it is.
Maybe. Yeah, it's 100% true. It really is how it is. Like, it pops, you got to be on it, or you're going to be off of it as fast as you got on it.
I look at Edema when they first came out. That band.
Murder Session. Yep.
Yes, that band was just insanely off the record. And then it just went poof, gone.
Gone.
Yep. Quick
as it came, just left just like that.
Yep.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's a wild world, so I'm just out here riding that bitch.
So I want to jump into this question before we get into all the good stuff like Hard Drive Studios performance that you guys did. We'll talk about that a little bit later too. But Shi, this has been a real big fight for you guys to finally get this debut EP out. I mean, you wrote the EP, then recorded it 3 different times with various people, and since forming in 2009, Savage After Midnight have been sidetracked by a name change, a studio fire, scrapped recordings from major producers. I mean, what the hell, dude? It's like this band was not even meant to get off the ground.
Oh man, it's been a dogfight to say the least. And you're right. Like, there were times where we were second guessing ourselves. Were we even supposed to be doing this? And we just kept, the minute something shitty would happen, something amazing would happen just to follow it. And it was like, it always just keeps pulling you back in. And I can say, like, with, where we're sitting right now, that I'm glad I stuck it through, because there were times where we sat there and questioned, we're like, man, are we doing the right thing? But, like I said, it just kind of pulls you back in, like it 100% does. And now look where we're sitting. Like, I couldn't be any more happy with where we're sitting right now. Doing that Pop Evil run, then out on the road with Shinedown, about to leave and go out in Memphis Mayfire, which actually will be in Kentucky. We'll be in Louisville, Kentucky on the 2nd of March. So we're slamming it out, brother. It's wild.
And just a bit of advice, man, and I know you know this, and I shouldn't have to tell you this, but just like we talked just a little bit ago, I mean, once you catch that fire, do not let it fizzle out. I mean, just keep doing it, because look where you're at right now, man. I mean, you fought this far, so it's hell worth it.
Yeah, and it was crazy too. Some of the events, like, I mean, just take the studio fire. Like, the studio fire happened right after we had done the record with Terry Date. Terry did. That was the second time we did the record. Well, let's see here. Second time we did the record with Terry Date. I mean, he did like Pantera, Slayer, Deftones, Bring Me the Horizon. He did Sempiternal. He did just iconic records like More Human Than Human, White Zombie.
Oh, nice.
He did just anything and everything under the sun. So we come out of that, and the record label, while we're there recording with him, the studio that our label owned caught fire, and they went through a $92 million lawsuit, which basically was going to shelf our record because their attorneys told them, they were like, hey, look, you know, the way insurance companies work is they're going to try to fight you for so long that you can't afford to fight them anymore. Like, they're going to bury you in attorney fees. So batten down your hatches and get ready for it. And the label didn't tell us that. And I caught wind of it secondhand that was the advice that was given to them. So I went in and I was like, hey, look, I want to obtain the rights to the record. I was like, right now you guys haven't done anything with it. You're in breach of contract. You could either just let this thing fizzle out, or everything that we all worked to put together, we could put out. And they sat back and they were like, you know what? We don't retain you. We want to see it go out just as bad as you do. So I got the rights to everything, was able to shop it. You know, we shopped with Razor and Tie and Atlantic, and we decided to go with Sony Red. So it's been a process for sure. That's 100% the truth.
Now, working with Red Music, how's it been working with them so far, Shi?
It's been great. So at first it was like a learning curve because, I mean, I'm a businessman through and through. Like, I own several businesses as well as this. And so it was hard for me to go from, like, having my own thing, you know, and being, like, 100% the driving factor behind it, to letting go of the reins. And when I finally was able to do that, like, have faith in people and their ability to do their jobs, when I finally stepped back, was like, okay, you know, because to me, this is like really, really special. Not only is it, you know, business, but first and foremost, it's art, you know, and this is like the way that we express ourselves and the way we put things out. And, you know, like, there were several times where it was like, okay, I'm giving somebody something, like, this is more than just a piece of me, you know? Mm-hmm. And took a little bit of adjusting. I can't sit there and lie about that. Took a little bit of adjusting to get used to letting go of that power, but they've done a terrific job. Like, I mean, we're on the hook with you right now, mm-hmm. you know? Mm-hmm. We're on the line with, you know, a bunch of facets, you know, different facets. We're getting all these different outlets looking at us, and all the gears are turning. It seems like the machine is coming to life, you know, and it's like, just as soon as, you know, I hang up the phone with you, like, you know, getting pulled into like a written interview, or like I said, we were on the road and the hard drive called up and was like, hey, I want to bring you guys out on the show. Like, that wasn't pre-planned. It just dropped in our lap on our way to New York to play for our label. Like, we sat down and played for our GM and our president of the label. And like I was telling you prior to getting online air, like, I was sick, you know, so trying to pull myself together, but it just seems like everything just keeps dropping in our lap, which is awesome. And it's all based on the fans' reactions, like people's reactions. So, you know, when you play this, you know, for the world, you know, all of your fan base, I hope that they connect with it the way everybody else is, because it's just the reaction is overwhelming. And we just couldn't be more thankful of it. And Red has done a terrific job in facilitating us getting out into the public eye.
So when you guys got that call to go in and play for Hard Drive at the Hard Drive Studios, man, what was that reaction for you guys?
We were like, fuck yeah, are you serious? Yeah. I was like, I don't give a shit how sick I am. I'll figure this shit out. Like, it was great. And then Paul came over from Hard Drive and watched us play a set in New York at a venue. Sorry, I'm over here yawning.
You're fine. You're fine.
Dude, I'm beat from being on the road. So he came out, we got to kick it with him and before even going to the studio. So it was more of a relationship was starting to establish and grow there, and he's super rad. So we went in there and knocked that out, and the reaction was awesome. Like, it's dope.
Hey, you guys released your debut single and video for 10 Feet Tall. Was it hard to choose between the current set of songs on this debut EP, which one would be the first single and video? And also, what did you want that first song for someone to hear of Savage After Midnight, let them know or hear from you guys?
Yeah, it was a toss up between that and Unleash, which is also on the record, because we actually cut the first record into 2 EPs. So there's one EP coming out that's already done. Both of them are wrapped up. One of them's called, the first one's coming out on the 8th of March. It's called 11:59. The second one that'll come out, we don't have the tentative date yet, but it's 12:01. So Savage After Midnight, like a play off the name.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, like there was a lot of back and forth on what song would be the first single to go out. And the reason I fought personally for 10 Feet Tall over Unleash is because it's really like an anthem, and it's all about, we firmly believe that in order to become in a position of power, you have to empower other people. So when you push somebody to be better or stronger than they even believe themselves to be able to be, then when it comes back around and they achieve those goals that they never thought that they could, then they turn around and they will push and help you with anything that you need in your life. So the more that you give, the more you get back. And that's what that song is about, So to me, I wanted to make the stand right off the bat that, we believe in something. We're not just singing about, oh, my girlfriend screwed me over again. Fuck, she's fucking some other dude. Like, no, like, screw all that. Like,
yeah,
we wanted to talk about like we wanted to put some actual real message out there with the first song.
So why break the album up into 2 EPs? Why didn't you just want to do a full length?
Honestly, to be completely honest with you, the money would have been way better had we done it that way. But this isn't about money. Like, I don't give a shit about money. I give 2 shits about money. Doesn't matter. This is about people actually being able to get the chance to connect with it. And we know that when you notice, it's a singles world now. So, rap, pop, everywhere else that's really growing fast, even country, faster than rock, they're dropping singles. And they weren't down to do the whole single thing. The record label wasn't, but the closest I could get to it was doing EPs, because that way, first song comes out, you get to kind of digest it or whatever. Second song comes out, you can digest it. Like, by the third song, if you release a full-length record, by the third, maybe you get a 4th single, and then all 6 of the other songs are just laid to the wayside. So to me, this was a way for us to get it out to the public, like every song almost. We'll be able to put out more songs this way into the public eye, and really so it gives us a chance to like really get our art out there, and give people time to digest it before it's just yanked off the plate. And they're like, oh, you got to go do another record. It's like, well, we've already got like 15 fucking records written. Like, we need people to digest it, and understand it, and give them a chance to understand it before you shove something else.
Yeah.
So kind of the game plan, the thought process, really.
Yeah, because I see some that just keep shoving, and it's just like, whoa, slow down a minute.
Yeah.
Let's take a step back here.
So, right. Yeah. So, I mean, we didn't want to get, through 3 songs and then go, okay, well, you got to throw a whole nother record out. We wanted to get, 2 to 3 songs off this record. And then hopefully some of the tracks they just want to release virally, those will connect, give it a little bit more longevity. And then we come back and we've already got the next record written, so we can drop them on. I don't mind dropping records after that, but the first one, it was important to me to break it up into 2, really.
So 10 Feet Tall was directed by Billy Worley. How was working with him? Also, Howard Russell did an awesome job on the animation in the video. I'm getting tongue-tied here. He did awesome animation on the...
Howard's dope. Yeah. He's dope. Howard's so sick, dude. So Billy's great, too. Billy's great to work with on this first video. He's really cool. He was really easy to work with too. He definitely like pushed and pulled on us to get, the shots that we needed. And then Howie, like all of our songs that come out, our videos that come out, will have some sort of animation in them. And we're going to release some comic books to tell the backstory of the band, because they're not going to read a bio on us, really. Like, you get like people that are like really, really invested in it, but for the most part, they're not going to read that. So a way that they will is if it's entertainment. So if we're putting out comic books that tell the backstory of the band in a fictional kind of story way, but we're still dropping little Easter eggs of like who we were, and you get to understand my personality and the guys' personalities through the characters. Like, so there's the kid version of us, there's the band version of us, and then there's the savages, like these big monsters that we turn into after midnight. And that's what you see busting through that wall, like ripping dudes, knocking dudes' teeth out and stuff. So the savages are kind of like, not like superheroes, but more like, they're like Deadpool. They just do whatever the fuck they want. If they end up doing good in the process, cool. And if they don't, it's whatever. So, but you get to also see the intermingling, like me and my guitar player, like we want to murder each other like every 3 days, but we love each other. I love the shit out of that dude. But you'll see he'll be the only one talking shit to me in the comic book, and then you'll see me slap him in the comic book. Like, it's going to be that kind of dynamic, But yeah, all the videos that come out, Howard's doing all that stuff. He's done stuff for Adult Swim and everybody else, like in the whole animation world. And so the next video that comes out this month, actually, Heartless Machine, it'll have the animation stuff in it, and it's super rad too. It's like me building and creating the Heartless Machine, like this chick, and it goes into the storyline where the antagonist in all this, because there's always, good versus evil. There's always there's got to be a bad guy in order to be a good guy, right?
Sure.
So
yeah.
The bad guy in all this, like, I steal his right hand and I rebuild her as this Heartless Machine and put her back in the system with him as kind of like our spy. Some crazy shit, man.
I know that listening to this album, it changes every time for what favorites that you do like on this, but are there any that are standing out to you more possibly? I know this is like picking your favorite child or favorite collectible or whatever, but do you have any that stick out for you?
So my favorite song right now really is Heartless Machine because it's the most in-depth. But I'll tell you, the one that's the most fun to play live is Overrated. Overrated is pretty gnarly because it's just basically a big fuck you to love. Like, it's like, why does everybody got to say they got to, I got to be in love? Look, we're human beings, and by nature, we like having sex. And that's just what this song is about. It's about being like, love is overrated. If we're going to do this, let's do this.
How was working with producers Chris Brown and John Falls at Young Avenue Sound in Memphis, Tennessee? And it was mastered by Howie Weinberg. He's done Slayer, Deftones, 21 Pilots. How was working with all these guys?
Man, awesome. So Chris and John were from the original label that we were signed to. What happened there is the first time we went and did the record, we did it with Colin Britton. Colin did the two new Papa Roach records. The last two that are out, I just talked to him a few days ago. He's in Orlando doing the new A Day to Remember record. Well, they got into it. The label and him got into it. So then we had to cut that, and he and I are still like really tight. And we went and did the record with Terry Date. And then when we were with Terry, which is amazing to work with, so the label got into it with his management. And after 3.5 months in Seattle, we came back and we had to do the record again. We had to scrap the record again. And that's when we worked with John and Chris, which were from our label at the time. The one thing that Terry instilled in us was like, hey, look, the reason that I liked you guys in the first place is because you don't sound like anybody else. He's like, you have your own thing. He's like, dude, he and I would get up in the morning, we'd go ride around in this beat up pickup truck and just talk and get coffee. And so we were talking, he's like, when I chose you guys to work with you guys, because it was a long process to get in with him, he was like, I'd worked with, Slayer. He goes, even go back to the grunge days when I worked with Chris Cornell and all them. He's like, when everybody wanted that grunge sound, I found Slayer, and everybody wanted to sound like Slayer. So I found Pantera, and then everybody wanted to sound like Pantera. So I found the Deftones, and everybody wanted to sound like the Deftones. So I found Limp Bizkit. he was like, you know, and you guys, like, everybody's trying to sound in this direction and y'all sound nothing like it. So he goes, that's why I wanted you guys, you know, stop. You just stop not believing in your own craft. Like, don't second guess it. So when the label was like, hey, you know, we really just want a cleaned up version of what you guys had demoed and what we signed you on. And so we went in with Chris and John, and they just kind of oversaw the process to make sure that we were getting the best version of that possible. Like, they weren't pushing us to change it. They were pushing us just to make sure that, like, every note was the best it could have been sang. Every strum on the guitar was the best it could have been done. It was more of an overseeing process with them. And they didn't hinder us from being ourselves, which, you know, that they had said 1,000 times. They're like, we didn't sign you because we felt like you needed to change from this. We signed you because we believed in the material you brought to us. Mm-hmm. So that was cool. And then working with Howie on the mastering stuff, I mean, that's just no brainer. It's literally, you know, Howie Weinberg, dude, you just send him your shit and then it comes back like a miracle just happened to it. You know, it's like, it was just awesome. Like, there was never like, hey, can you do a little bit more of this or maybe some of this? Like, he just murdered it. So,
you know what? I'm sitting here listening to you tell me this story, and I'm sitting here thinking, like, maybe all this was meant to be because, and I hate to say that, but I mean, maybe it was meant to be because look where you're at right now. You got to work with somebody that's legendary for mastering. Look who he's worked with: Slayer, Pantera, you know,
Green Day.
Yes,
yeah.
I mean, it's like, how much iconic and mastery would you need to be with somebody? You know, I'm sitting here going, holy shit, man. It's
wild. This ride has been so wild. And, like, you know, not a lot of people understand it. You know, a lot of people are, you know, out there, let's say they don't hear this radio show and they don't read our biography or whatever. They just hear the songs. They're not going to understand, like, that it took a lot to get to this point. And we worked with some, you know, amazingly talented people along this crazy ride, you know?
Yeah.
And
jeez,
I can't be more thankful of that. You can't buy those kind of relationships or those kind of, you know, situations. Like, we were in Seattle, right? And we were walking into Studio X, which is no longer there. It was an icon. Look it up. I mean, like, all the Seattle grunge bands rolled through there. They all worked in that studio. And so we're walking into the big live room. We had it, and it was, you know, our day to go in and start the project. And as we're going in, Dave Matthews is coming out of that room. And I was like, holy shit, like, this is just mind blowing. Right. And then we go to leave and Pharrell Williams is going in.
Nice.
You know, it's crazy, man. Life's nuts, dude.
You know, you got
nuts.
Jane's Addiction right there. I mean, that's,
mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't like a lot of their music. However, I do like some. I do respect what they do.
Yeah, I love Jane's Addiction.
Yeah.
Think I feel red.
When I was 5.
Get it. Hit that shit.
Oh, that's good. What's that one song, something Mountain, that they play? I forgive me. I mean, I don't know a whole lot of their music, but I do like some of it when I hear it.
Yeah, I'd have to look back on some of it. I mean, they've been out there for a long time.
Yeah, they played it live at a festival a couple of years ago. I was watching on TV, and it was just relaxing. I mean, it's like, oh shit, this is live and it's relaxing. It's just like sitting there, just chilling out and having
zoned
a good time.
out.
Yeah, man, just sitting back and relaxing, not even giving a fuck in the world. Just, this is what it's all about. God, man.
Yep. Yeah, it's crazy, man. Like, just, you're right. I mean, just the amount of talent we've been around. Like, another dude's done a lot of work on a record with us. It's been Jonathan from The Devil Wears Prada. And yeah, it was just super fucking cool too. You know, and me, him, and Colin just met up in December to work on some songs together that either we'll be working for the band later on or not. Right now, they're pretty poppy, and I don't know if the label's ready for that, you know, yet out of us. But we're not one dimensional. Like, I turned it into Don over at the label, and he was just like, "What is this?" And I'm like, look, this is art. we're like, I'm always going to be creative. I'm always going to be putting content out there, in whatever lane that it ends up becoming. It's just, you let the song be the song, and either it gets used, with a band or it doesn't. I'm just here to write music and make music. That's what I'm here to do.
I would love to get a 10-minute interview, just 10 minutes, with the bands of like Slayer, Green Day, and Metallica especially. And everybody knows my story. That band saved my life in my darkest days, because I would not be here without that band. With
which record hit you the hardest?
Oh God, dude, the record that hit me the hardest, that actually spoke for me and gave me my voice when I was in my darkest days, was Master of Puppets. I have said that since day one. Master of Puppets, and then the follow-up would have to be Injustice for All.
Yeah.
My dad was in ICU. He was battling health problems. He didn't know me from the air and the wind. He didn't know anything that was going on, other than just every time he woke up was like, "Hey, did John graduate yet?" That's all that he would actually say. That's all he worried about. And
that's nuts.
When I would go see him, because it was very hard for me and my mother, because I was still in high school. She was staying weeks upon weeks with him. I was at the house by myself. Though, guys, I was 17. Don't freak out. I was an adult. I was okay. But staying alone by myself, that was fine. I didn't mind it. But I just got in a dark place, and I don't care to admit that. And everybody does. Everybody goes through that. And I hope that nobody does, but sometimes it happens. But that album, Shi, I tell you right now, dude, if it wasn't for that album, Master of Puppets, I would not be here, because that was my voice. That was my anger. That was my relief. That was my, God, I hate to use this. I hate to say this word. That's my anthem. That was, that was.
Hey, I mean, there's no shame in that, brother. I mean, that's the thing, dude. If this stuff got out there, somebody was telling me, they were like, so, along the way, there are probably people pushing you to, do this or do that. And I was like, yeah, we did that for years. Like, we tried writing for, this person, if you sound a little bit more like this, we got you. And if you sound just a little bit more like this band, it'd be perfect, and I was like, all that shit went away. Like, I was like, fuck that. I'm not writing for anybody else. I'm writing for myself. And if somebody out there connects with it and appreciates it, that means we're on the same level. We're sharing a bond between each other at that point, whether like I know this person or not. If you can connect with, the same struggle that I had, then we developed a bond, and, just like with you and Metallica, that's, to me, like, if I could give that to anybody, if we share a bond together, if anybody's had the same struggles that I've had in life, and we can relate to each other, and that, based upon that, that's all I give a shit about. If I can help anybody through anything, like the song King of the In Crowd, it's about, somebody pushing and pushing and pushing, and lying about things and being fake as fuck and always in your face talking one thing and behind your back saying another one. And that song's about calling them out. I think there's a lot of people who have gone through that.
Exactly.
There's been a lot of people who have been like, yeah, I mean, you sit there and you praise somebody, you're like, yeah, that dude's cool as shit. And next thing you know, you turn around, you find out, it's like, oh no, dude talks shit about you behind your back all the time. And it's like, if you can connect with somebody on, these kind of levels, it's a deeper rooted meaning, and I hope some shape, form, or fashion we can connect with, some people along that line as well.
You guys just finished the Pop Evil tour, 2019 winter tour, of course. How was that? And what did you guys take away from that tour experience, seeing Pop Evil performing things like that, possibly?
Tour was dope. Like, I mean, I've known those dudes like forever. Like, my old band, which our songs sucked, and we had to learn how to write. So that was like part of it, part of us developing the way we developed was through that. But we had known those dudes like for forever. So we used to come up on them in like different cities at the same time. Like, they'd be performing in the same city we would. And we would try to pack up as quick as possible and get over to where they were at. And we always carried pit bikes with us, right? Like little 50cc dirt bikes and shit. Yeah. And they had one too. So we'd pull up and they'd they come out of the venue and be like, we'd just be leaned up against the trailer being like, so what's up? You want to get at this? What's up? Like, they'd be like, yeah, let's run them. So they dragged theirs out from underneath their bus, and we'd drag race pit bikes up and down whatever city we were in. Didn't matter. So I've known those dudes like forever. So being back out with them, you know, on the same run, same venue, same shows was pretty rad. And there's definitely a lot to be said for them and their performance. You know, Lee he's a monster up front. You know, he commands a crowd in a way that not many people do.
Yeah,
you know, he demands respect, and, you know, people relate to him. Like, he had them laughing the other night. He called a bunch of people old in the crowd, and they were laughing. Like, I was like, damn. Like, all right. He's just hilarious. He's really funny. And then, of course, like Matt and I, the bass player, and I, and Davey, the guitar player, we're like super homeboys. So yeah, it was definitely cool to get out there and to, you know, just watch, you know, the way they put on their show, and they come hard. So if you're gonna tour with them, you got to put it on, like, or else you're gonna look like an idiot. So of course it was friendly competition. So we went out there every night just trying to throw down, and definitely was good in that aspect, because when you're around other people that are A level performers, you know, it makes you strive to, you know, to bring your all to it too. And, you know, it's a win-win because the crowd gets a great show by the end of the night, you know?
Sure. Yeah, for sure. Now, I know this is a crazy question, and but I'm going to ask anyway. How much growth musically have you seen this band, and including yourself, go through up to the release of this debut EP, or has it just been a more of a personal growth for each of you involved in this?
Bro, I feel like fucking Mozart compared to where we started, dude.
I can imagine.
I feel like fucking Beethoven at this point, dude. Yeah, it's definitely been a lot of growth. You know, just working with all these amazing people, like, they're gonna challenge you. Like, it's the same thing, like, goes back to the touring thing. You know, you got some people out there pushing you to bring it every night, you know, and when you get in the studio with these A-level dudes that are writing like 2-3 songs a day and have the ability to write on that level at that caliber, that you got to be on it, you know. So you definitely learn and you take away certain things, you know. But I think the biggest challenge in all that is not becoming them and chasing what they do.
Exactly.
Is being able to use that and do what you do. I think that's the difference.
There you go.
I think in our earlier years, we just had to be like this guy and that guy, and we were rolling in that capacity. And we finally laid back and we're like, no. We're supposed to be taking what we can away from this to add to what we do, not try to chase the dragon, you know?
Yep.
And that, I think once we hit that, I think that's what you're actually hearing on this record.
Yeah, there you go, man. Don't be chicken shit to do your own thing. It's cool if you want to add some stuff from other bands. That's fine and dandy. I agree with that. But be your own fucking band.
Well, that's 100% it. Like, if you're not your own band, fucking you're somebody else. That means, well, you might as well just be a cover band.
Yep. So, there you go.
And I mean, the guys all live in Memphis. I live in Nashville. There's a shit ton of cover bands here. And you go up and down Broadway and hear them bitches every night. So, you know, not knocking it. I got a bunch of homeboys that are probably some of the most talented musicians that you'll ever meet in your entire life that are in some of these cover bands. I mean, it's just, you know, I'm out here. I want to write and play my own shit.
Yep.
You know,
when you come into the recording studio, do you do anything differently during the writing and recording process to help keep your mind fresh and open, to not get bored or not let the music get stale? Do you do anything that helps you out possibly? I used to do a lot of things, and I think that was part of the hindrance. I think that I used to over prepare. Like, I used to like listen to a lot of abnormal things I wouldn't listen to, and I would, you know, start little regiments, you know, and I think at that point I was killing what made it organic, and that I stopped doing it. I was like, I go in here and whatever comes out, that's what's meant to come out. And I go at it like that. So I guess, yeah, my new regimen is just not doing shit. Switch it up.
That's it. That's it, man. Don't overthink it. Get out there and do it. You know, that's it. I mean, we write a shit ton before we go in. Like, we wrote 40 to 60 songs to go into this record.
Wow.
So, I mean, we've got a ton of material just sitting there. So
now I'm sure that's going to be used on different albums, though, correct? I mean, they're not just going to
some
sit
of
there.
it some of it we'll go back in on and dissect, and pull different pieces out of and use for different things. Like, and then we find ourselves writing interludes between the songs that go into live performances that actually are like really cool instrumental pieces that we end up developing a whole song off of, later on. Yeah, like Unleash, the opening riff of that was just a intro piece to a set, like the guitar riff. Mm-hmm. And now it's turned into the song.
What can fans expect at a show from Savage After Midnight who have not got to see you guys live as of yet?
I would say total fucking chaos. Like, we get up there, we just turn into different animals. Like, I got in trouble with security last week for kicking my ego riser off into the barricades. They weren't very happy about that. But hey, man, when I'm into the song, I'm just into the song.
Wow.
He was like, damn. He's like, hey, man, you think you could not do that again? I was like, I wasn't thinking about it when I did it. Like, just go at it.
That's awesome, though. Everybody was safe, folks. Everybody was safe. It's all good.
Yeah. Nobody was injured in the actions of this. Da-da-da. Do we need to put it like a disclaimer when you come to our shows?
Yeah.
Like,
you're not responsible for any of our actions.
Right. You could eat a bass guitar. We don't know because Landon's nuts and will throw shit off in the crowd and act like an idiot.
So we're living in the digital era now. We've got social media to reach out to more fans who may have not got to hear of Savage After Midnight, but hopefully we'll get this all out to the masses so everybody can hear you. Do you like this? Do you like this that we're living in right now?
Hell yeah. I love it. Yeah, dude. You apparently haven't been to my personal Instagram. You need to go check that out. Go to SHI_S.A.M. Like, you're going to be like, okay, he's a fucking idiot. This kid's wild. Like, it's just me with a bunch of hot chicks on there just acting a fool. Like, it's pretty rad. But yeah, I love being in the digital era because you can do whatever you want. You can put it out there. And I mean, it's like no holds barred. It's like being in the wild, wild west to me. Like, I love the fact that I can reach anybody that I want. There's no limitations on me anymore. Like, if I want to talk to somebody, I can literally find them on Instagram or Facebook or whatever the outlet may be that I find them on. And I can reach directly out to them, and that eliminates the whole thing where people are like, well, if I could just do this, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
You just got to go do it. Like, quit being a, pussy and just go out and do it.
Yeah, exactly. So, I always wanted to be in music. I can't sing worth a shit, even though I did in high school with my little band. I liked it and I loved it.
Nice.
But I always wanted to do something with music, and it presented me the opportunity to do this. And I said, why the hell not? Be a little voice for the bands that need help. So that's what I did. Right.
And I love it. I mean, look at it. You're out here pushing us. I mean, that's dope. You didn't have to do this, and we appreciate it, like, more than you'll ever know, expanding our reach, and I think that's it. Like, with the World Wide Web, the www, like, and everything out there is right there at your disposal, man. Like, it just gives you the outlet, like, for you to get out there and express yourself and do whatever you want. And, me the same. And I'm not really mad at Amazon Prime either. I like getting my shit fast.
See, this is my thing. I work at a shitty job during the day. I'm a customer service rep. I hate it with a passion, but and this is my outlet. This is my saving grace. This is my voice. And people don't understand that. I work during the day, and then, like, I do my interviews as soon as I get home. And I'm straight home, straight doing interviews. I don't eat till about 9, 10 o'clock at night because I'm so focused on doing this for you guys. And I hope,
sick, man.
And I hope people understand
we appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. I love it. It's in my veins. How much local support does Savage After Midnight get via venues and now airplay? I mean, you should be getting a lot of airplay now.
Yeah, we're getting airplay across the board. Chicago got us, Dallas got us, all the way up. Long Island, the Shark, those dudes are dope. Like, everywhere's picking this up. Like, just right and left, right and left, right and left. And then, the main one being Octane. Like, Vinny and, my best friend is Shannon Guns over there. She's one of the DJs. And, her and Jose and just all the love and support over there, like, that reach is just crazy. It's crazy. Like, every day, like, I'm getting DMs with, like, people, like, screenshotting, oh, I'm hearing you on Octane. Oh, I'm hearing you on Octane. Dude, this is dope. Or, hey, just found you on Octane. Hey, love your song 10 Feet Tall. Like, da-da-da-da. Like, we're getting love across the board. It's insane. It's nuts.
That's awesome. Congratulations. I think you guys really deserve it, and there's a lot of bands out there that deserve it, but this is awesome that you guys have cracked through that little crack, as I should say. So it's awesome, man.
Man, thank you, for sure.
In your own opinion, Shi, what does Savage After Midnight bring to the table for music that may not be out there as of right now? I mean, nobody's reinventing the wheel, but what do you bring differently?
Good question. I would just say energy, man. Like, there's some other bands starting to really pull some energy, and like you feel it. When 10 Feet Tall hits that chorus, you feel it. It's the same way with, like, Bring Me the Horizon, Mantra. Same thing with, like, Fever 333.
Yeah.
Grandson, they're dope. Palisades, like, all, like, these newer artists that are coming up. We feel like we're part of that movement, that energy movement, that hey, we're here to fuck shit up movement. And I think that's what's different from us than, I would say our predecessors. But I don't think it's us alone. I think it's us conjoined with some of these other artists, like I was just naming. Like, I hit Fever up the other day, and they were watching my story on IG because we were talking about those dudes. And I remember, when the singer was in a different band starting out, and like we were watching them, like, let live, and everybody's like, oh, dude, this, that, and the other, they're so rad. Like, I remember that kid getting down, like, way back. So I think it's just energy, man. Like, I feel like what we're bringing different is just, we're bringing energy back into rock music.
What made you want to become a musician? What was that spark for you, my good sir, that said, yeah, that's what I want to do right there?
I think really, honestly, we kind of touched on it earlier in a way. I have a horrible memory. Like, dude, it is so bad. It's garbage. But the one thing that gets me is when I hear something, like I hear a song, it'll take me back to a time when I was doing something stupid, or I felt a certain type of way or whatever, and I'll be able, it helps me revisit my past, helps me to bring back those memories. And I always felt like if I was able to give that to somebody else, that I actually did something in my life that actually had a purpose. That makes any sense to you?
Yeah.
It's the truth, man. Like, I literally can remember, like, bits and pieces of my life will just jog back every time I hear an old song. It just takes me back to certain instances, certain, like, the summer that, I'll remember forever because of, this song that was playing, that was the song of the summer, or, first heartbreak, what it felt like, what I kept listening to. Because, when you're a kid and you go through some heartbreak, you're like listening to the same song over and over and over and over and over again, thinking that they wrote that shit for you. When really they wrote it for themselves. Yeah. And, you're like, oh, they really understand me. Oh, Pantera. Like, so, it jogs, like, pieces of my memory, and it helps me kind of flash back. And like I said, if I was ever able to give that back to somebody, that's what I wanted to do. So that's really what sparked the start of it. And then I would say further along after that, you just get addicted to it. Like, the most I've ever stepped out and performed in front of is 28,000. So when you're walking out in front of 28,000 people, that's a rush.
Yeah.
It's like, what's up? Y'all good? I'm fucking great. You know?
Yeah, I totally understand because, like, I remember being, I think maybe, I don't know, 7th, 8th grade, maybe 6th grade, sitting and doing homework and watching MTV when MTV was actually good and playing fucking great music videos. Seeing Kurt Loder break in from MTV News and say, unfortunately, Kurt Cobain has passed away. And I was like, what?
Dude, we went and saw his house in Seattle.
Yeah. I mean, I was sitting there.
That was a lot.
Yeah, I was. It ruined my day. It's like you lost a family member. You know what I mean? Because it's like, I don't know. It's like when you have a relationship with music, you go in depth and follow that band. You want to know stuff about the band, things like that. You know, or the other albums before their album that's out right now. Of course they are. You go back and you do more research and things, and you're like, holy shit, man, that hit hard when I was a kid. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I definitely stand beside that notion. Like, when you connect hard.
Yeah, that's for sure. Shi, is there a country that stands out or even shocks you that Savage After Midnight gets support from, or your music even gets played in that area possibly?
Dude, we're getting a ton of love from Brazil.
Holy crap.
I don't know how, but I will say this. Brazilian women are beautiful, so I'm not mad at it. Like, bring it on. All the love. Give me all the Brazilian love right now.
Just about every musician that's been on here, just about, I would say 96%, music's being played in Brazil. Just about. And I'm like, to me, that is
damn, now I don't feel special anymore, man. I was feeling special. Before this, I was like, man, all the Brazilian women love me. Now, like, you just burst in my bubble, bro.
I mean, like,
I'm going to have to go back and rethink life.
Yeah, we got to restart over.
Right? I have to change my band name and see if I can't get these French women to like me.
It's like, to me, Brazil is like, I don't know, not the mecca for like approval for music. It's just it's up there for music wise, I think, and that's just me personally because it's just crazy. That's awesome though that you guys are also getting that support over there. So
yeah, I was in Puerto Rico last year, and we were just starting to like scratch the surface. And one of my buddies plays pro ball down there, and he's like literally 7 foot, and like I look like a midget walking next to him, right? So we're like walking through like this. It's just like a party area. It's like blocks of just like people partying. It's just like clubs and bars and stuff, right? So like we're walking through there or whatever, and then I have this like group of dudes roll up on me, and I was like, I looked over at him like, dude, what's about to shake down? And he's like, no, it's cool. I was like, I didn't understand what they were saying. And he's like, dude, they know you. They've heard all your covers because like we threw out a bunch of covers, and they just started beaming me up. Actually, the cover stuff I had talked to from Ashes to New when they lost their singer. Matt hit me up to see if I was interested in coming and working with them on some stuff. And I was just so involved in this. It was no disrespect to them because I think their band's amazing. I think they're great. And I was flattered for Matt to call me, and then Rob McDermott, which was managing them at the time, which managed Linkin Park, hit me up, and they were asking me, if I wanted to, check the stuff out, if I could come help them out. And I was going to help them out until they went and told their label. I was going to help them just through like Shiprock and stuff. And their label just pulled it, said, look, no more touring until you find the person that's going to be y'all's person. Yeah. And but that all came from the covers too. But I guess going back, because I'll roll off tangent, but it was cool walking through Puerto Rico and people pulling you off to the side, being like, oh my God, da-da-da-da, I love your Calvin Harris cover. Because we had to take all those covers down. They had hundreds of thousands of views on them. And we had to take them all down because we had to do the name change. So now we've put them up, and on Savage After Midnight, some of them got like 4,000 because nobody could find us, Mm-hmm. And there was like this big to-do with our old YouTube page, and we were trying to just get them to change the name on it and YouTube. Google wouldn't get it done because Google owns it or whatever. And it was like a fight. And even at the label, they were like, we're trying to make this happen and we can't. So we just had to like say, screw it and just start over fresh. Like there were hundreds of thousands of plays on those videos. And it's just like people that we could have reached back out to with our new music. So like, it's like this has been a challenge on every single level. Like everything that we ever developed, we had to scrap. We've had to scrap everything along the way.
That's
And it was like almost like they were going, no, you will start over fresh. Like not kind of fresh, like you're like brand fucking new.
God. That sucks,
Yeah,
but in a way, that's kind of like a blessing because you find out other things about yourself that was not even in the other band.
Yeah, I found out that I have patience that I didn't think I had.
It pays off, my friend. It pays off.
All right.
Folks,
Patience is a virtue.
folks, Savage After Midnight will release their debut EP March 8th entitled 1159. And that's on Via Red Music, or Via Red Music's going to put that out. Shi, how can folks stay in touch with you guys, buy some merchandise, tour dates, things like that when you guys do your own thing? How can they do that, my friend?
Yes. I mean, it's 2019, you guys. You can hit Savage After Midnight's Facebook. You can hit Savage_AM on Twitter. You can hit Savage After Midnight on Instagram, which is where I do most of my communicating. You can reach out to me personally, SHI_S.A.M, and hit me in the DMs, and I can tell you anything you want. You can hit our website, savageaftermidnight.com. You can go to Bands in Town, find out. It's also a cool site because you can find out and set alerts to when your favorite artists are rolling through your city or close to you, because I think it lets you set proximity. And, Bands in Town, they'll list all our tour dates. If you guys are anywhere near, we play Nashville, Kentucky, Birmingham, Destin, Corpus Christi, just a ton of places with Memphis Mayfire at the end of this month. So if you guys can make it out to that run, we'd very much appreciate it. So just stream us on all your streaming services. And yeah, that's what's up.
Before I let you go, good sir, would you care to do a promo for my show?
Sure will. What you got? Yo, this is Shi from Savage After Midnight, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour, baby.
Everybody stick around. We got some great stuff coming up, and you only hear these interviews right here on BODS Mayhem Hour and BODS Mayhem Radio Network. Please get out and check out our Facebook page. It has our podcast link, plus it has our YouTube channel. Also, it'll have a Twitch link on there, hopefully very, very shortly. And also, please get out and check out Savage After Midnight and pick up their new debut EP that comes out March 8th via Red Music. So, Shi, thank you so much, man. I wish you guys the best of fucking luck, my friend.
Dude, I can't tell you thank you enough. Thank you for all the support and the love and the drive. And I'd love to see you in Kentucky. If you can make it to Louisville, that'd be dope.